I just got back from 1 week in Japan. This time I visited Tokyo, Hiroshima, and Osaka. My main goal for this trip was to visit as many of the places my wife hates going to as possible so we can have a normal family holiday there later this month. But I was also there for Klook Creativerse alongside 111 other creators from around the world. I made so many new friends, walked so many steps, ate so many noodles, and was the Instagram husband to at least 10 women and 1 man. I bought enough merch and snacks to fill my entire dining table, and if you want to see my entire Japan haul, that video just went up on YouTube. You can also see photos from my trip on my Instagram, but over the next week I'll be uploading vlogs about each day of my trip, starting now with my first night in Shibuya. It takes 10 hours to fly from Sydney to Tokyo, and I spent most of those hours watching Lupin the Third in One Piece, reading manga, and playing weird indie games on my Steam Deck. I landed at 9 PM and immediately went out drinking with my friend Sagach, first at a yakitori place, then at a bar called Loose, where they serve different kinds of lemon sours, each one made with different spices like cinnamon, cardamom, and even cumin. At about 2 AM, Sagach went home, and I went to a bunch of convenies, desperately looking for the new Tamagotchi or Sylvanian family's Ichiban Kujis, but they were sold out everywhere, so I bought some of my favorite snacks and went to bed at a hotel called All Day Place Shibuya, which is above a coffee shop called About Life Coffee, who do a mean cold brew, which is gonna be essential since every day this week is gonna be over 35 degrees Celsius. Anyway, come back tomorrow for the biggest day of shopping I've ever done in my life. I think I bought half the stuff in my whole video during this one ridiculously big day, so look forward to it. Today I went to the best shopping mall in the world, but that place didn't open until 11 AM. So I started my day with something a bit more peaceful and cultural. Psych! This is the shrine that sells Sanrio Omamori, but they were sold out of every character except Gudetama and Shinkansen. I also picked up a Happy Danbui birthday blessing, and then I hit the gym. The One Piece gym, that is. It costs a lot of money to work out with Luffy's meat, but you can visit the gift shop for free. Although now I'm a wanted man for trying to steal this Gum Gum Gatling massage gun. I checked out the new Bandai Cross store and went straight to the Tamagotchi section to get some new items for my paradise. Popped into a Sanrio gift gate for the new Usahana keychain and a Gao Poweru blind box. Then I met my new friend Marinda, who gave me a Hungyeon gift bag, and together we finally entered Shibuya's Parko Mall, which is currently home to a Nintendo store, a Capcom store, a Pokemon store, a Godzilla store, the brand new Sega store, Shonen Jump, Sylvanian Families, Evangelion, a Metal Gear Solid pop-up, a JoJo World pop-up, an Incredible Mother pop-up, and a Katamari cafe. I'll make a video soon about everything I bought at Parko, but it was 1 PM and I hadn't eaten anything yet, so it was time to chow down on some Katamari. I wasn't game enough to try the rainbow pasta, but this miso onigiri set was pretty good, although maybe I just like drinking out of Cousin Miso's head, which is why I got this miso chocolate coffee to drink. As far as themed cafes go, this was one of the better ones I've been to. And after rolling through the gift shop, we left Parko and went Sanrio shopping at Village Vanguard, then visited the Line Friend store, where I found out that I have the same size hands as Jimin. I said goodbye to Marinda and said hello to my brand new Smisky bag. Then I went to Chillmatic for lunch number 2, aka maybe the best burger I've ever had in my life. At the brand new Medicom store, I was very surprised to find Monster merch. Then I made friends with these chickens and this creator, who had never bought a gacha before, so we rectified that at Tokyo Station. And you would think that visiting every single store inside Tokyo Station's infamous character street would be enough shopping for me, but neither me nor my wallet had suffered enough. So after saying goodbye to Ebby, I continued on to Bic Camera of all places. And why does no one talk about how amazing this department store is? It sells pretty much everything I like, and it stays open till 10 PM. With 400 shopping bags in tow, I finally went somewhere that didn't have a merch section, a standing bar called the Last Stand Bar in Sakura. And even though I also had an extremely busy day planned for tomorrow, I had a few drinks here, then we walked home with a few more. Stay tuned to find out if I'll regret this decision in just 6 hours' time. You're not going to believe this, but I'm actually suffering from the worst hangover of my life right now. But luckily I woke up this morning in an onsen resort with 9 levels of saunas and steam rooms and hot baths and massage chairs, enormous relaxation rooms, and a panoramic foot bath that overlooks Tokyo Bay. But if this view doesn't fix you, don't worry, the buffet will, where you can fill your plate with all things healthy and traditional, or go buck wild at the dessert station, complete with a chocolate fountain. Here's my breakfast of champions and that beautiful view again. And if you're wondering what I'm wearing, they gave me a full makeover at reception. You can choose from a huge selection of sleek onsen attire. I had to make sure I was looking my best before I checked out the arcade room, which was filled with claw machines. And the selection was awesome. They had Sylvanian families, Chiikawa. They even had Sanrio stuff and Pokemon stuff over in the gift shop. But my hangover was cured now, so I headed over to Azabudai Hills for an exhibition of artwork by Studio Ghibli's Takahata Isao. Pompoko and Only Yesterday are two of my favorite Ghibli movies, and I found the exhibition deeply moving. Unfortunately, you can't film in there, but I did get this photo of me hugging a giant panda. There's also a manga art gallery here with some original One Piece art, but Sam wanted to go Sanrio shopping, so I met her at the Ginza Gift Gate. This is one of the better Sanrio stores in Japan. They've got a blinged out Hungyudon and some original Usahana sketches, and a huge Sanrio baby section where you can buy a pom-pom purin bib complete with a butthole on the back. I also visited a Seria store for the first time, and I think this is easily the best Japanese discount store. Their collab merch is incredible and everything here is just 100 yen. I picked up some accessories I've been looking for a long time, then headed back to the hotel for the opening night of Klook Creativerse, aka the main reason I'm in Japan in the first place. First, we were treated to a live plush bento demonstration, complete with the cutest sushi train I've ever seen, then an actual tuna sashimi demonstration, then some ridiculous games to warm everybody up for the main event. DJ Levins from Sydney, Australia. How did they even afford this guy? His fees are enormous. It was extremely fun DJing to a bunch of people that I mostly didn't know from all over the world, but the best way to break the ice with everyone is to dance like an idiot. This was a great way to kick off what would be one of the best weeks of my life. And I ended the night back up on the rooftop, soaking my toes in the hot spring water. You can book a stay at the Tokyo Toyosu Manyo Club on Klook and use the code LEVINSONLINEKLOOK for a nice little discount. One of my goals this year is to make videos about parts of Japan that I haven't already seen a million times on TikTok, so I was very excited to get on a bullet train to Hiroshima this morning with 120 other creators. Klook booked out 2 entire carriages of the Shinkansen for us and just fed us for the entire journey. I had one of those self-heating bento boxes for the first time, and this eel was as delicious as it was piping hot. Speaking of hot, here's a hot tip. If you're traveling towards Osaka from Tokyo, make sure you book a seat on the right side of the train so you can get a view of Mount Fuji. After a box of fat strawberry and a bag of my favorite gummies of the year, we had a quick stopover in Osaka where I briefly saw my old friend, the Hello Kitty Shinkansen. Then we got back on the train where I played a game about being on a train. The first thing I did when we got to Hiroshima was buy some gacha. Then I tried Hiroshima style okonomiyaki for the first time. Pretty good. Then we went to Hiroshima Castle for this beautiful view and this beautiful mascot whose name is Shiro Nya, because Shiro means castle and Nya is what a cat says. We visited the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum and Park. I didn't feel comfortable filming in the museum, but it was very moving, as was the park, which was filled with reminders that although Hiroshima has moved on from the terrors of war, there are still parts of the world that are greatly affected by it. This is Orizuru Tower, and one of its walls is made of glass and filled with paper cranes. On the 12th floor, you can fold your own paper crane, then let it fly down to the bottom of the glass wall, where it can join thousands of other cranes. You can slide down to the bottom of the tower too, but I ran back up the stairs so I could order a lemon sour and watch the sunset from the open-air wooden observation deck. I kept the good vibes going at one of the coolest bars I've ever been to, called Mac. This place isn't a stuffy record bar. It's a loose bar for locals who love eclectic music. You tell the bartender which song you want to hear, and then he tries to find it from this enormous concertina shelf full of CDs. I loved it so much here I bought a t-shirt, and if you want to buy tickets to Hiroshima Castle, the Peace Museum, Orizuru Tower, or even just Shinkansen tickets, you can do it on the Klook app, and if you use the code LEVINSONLINEKLOOK, you'll get a discount. I stumbled upon a Chiikawa ramen shop today, but first I had breakfast with Cinnamoroll. If you ever see this yogurt brand in Hiroshima, get the lemon flavor. It is so good. Me and the other humans of Klook had the Klook Creator Summit today, alongside today's main VIP, Hirokuma, a bear who smells like lemons and really knows how to cut a rug. After watching some keynotes and panels from various Klook folk, I went to get a coffee from an extremely legit spot called Bagtown Coffee, and I drank this very delicious cold brew while watching a local a cappella group. But that's when I saw it. this cool frog. I mean, the Chikawa ramen shop on the bottom floor of Parko Mall, and they actually had seats available. So I sat down and my good luck with anime cafes continues because the Chikawa ramen was really decent. Nice pork, good soup, chewy noodles. I'm sorry for doubting you little guys. Next door was a kiddie land with Sanrio, Mofusan, Kirby, Sumiko Garashi, Rilakuma, Miffy, Miko Illustrations, Gloomy Bear, Opanchu Usagi, Gacha Land, and more Chikawa. And around the corner from there was a Gigo, where I had my first and last attempt at a crane machine. Never again! I spent the afternoon walking through Hiroshima, stopping to buy gacha and merch at Book Off and Animate. Then I went back to the hotel for the official Creativerse Awards night. My new friend Michelle won the Visionary Trendsetter Award and didn't even thank me in her speech. But at least everyone got to watch me dance like an idiot on the big screen. Then we watched this dude behead some giant snakes, and it was time to party. I found my new calling, throwing gigantic balls into the crowd. Look how good I am at it. And I only smashed about 50 wine glasses. What a great day. Today I went to the town that inspired Ponyo. Hayao Miyazaki lived in Tomonoura on a cliff by the sea for a few months after completing Howl's Moving Castle. There are little references to Ponyo and other Ghibli movies all over this little town, as well as original Miyazaki sketches in the front window of Kayaka's Cafe. Miyazaki actually helped redesign a hotel here, the beautiful Onfunayado Iroha, where Gigi greets you at the front door. We were only in Tomonoura for a few hours, but we managed to take in the view from Fukuzenji Temple, visited the famous Joyoto Stone Lighthouse, ate an ice cream with a cookie shaped like the famous stone lighthouse, tried a locally made medicinal liqueur called homeshu, and I even found a retro toy store. Tomonoura was just one of many stops on our tour of Hiroshima's Fukuyama region today. We also visited Shinshoji Zen Museum and Gardens, which featured a beautiful mix of traditional and modern architecture, plus the most refreshing matcha and red bean shaved ice on this extremely hot day. And we climbed to the top of Fukuyama Castle, which has stood tall since 1622 and has two mascots, a bear named Shirokumajo, and this insane mech. I think it might be the only castle in Japan with its own Shinkansen station. You can book tickets and tours to all these awesome Fukuyama locations on the Klook app, and if you use the code LEVINSONLINEKLOOK, you'll get a discount. Today my hero Cookie Monster told me, Levins, this is your third time visiting Universal Studios Japan. It's time to sack up and finally ride the flying dinosaur. Was I scared? Yes. Was it awesome? Also yes. Did I reward myself with Zoro's green tea shaved ice? Also, yes. And was this the first of 3 ice creams for me today? Also, yes. But each one was necessary because it was 35 degrees outside. We escaped to the AC of the Snoopy Zone, bought some necessary merch, and then I ate a Kuromi Churrito, immediately followed by ice cream number 2, a frozen butterbeer. I don't really like the regular butterbeer, but I love this. Then I rode Flight of the Hippogriff, ate some extremely greasy chicken that was fried by Eustace Kid himself, and got wet on the Jurassic Park ride. Then it was time for Super Nintendo World, an area that I'm extremely familiar with now, except this was my first time visiting the park since Donkey Kong Country opened. And let me tell ya, I was going bananas in here. All the little details were insane, and Minecraft Madness was even better than I was expecting. That is a seriously good ride. Almost as good as ice cream number 3, this DK banana shake monstrosity that gave me tropical brain freeze. Then we heard word that Kuromi was doing a live show with her band, so we bolted and got there just in time to see the show, which was such a highlight of the day. My Melody was there, and Baku was her DJ. But this wasn't the only show that we'd be watching tonight. Universal invited all the Klook creators to a private show with music and magic. It was quite surreal, to be honest. A real what the hell is my life kind of moment. And the only thing to do after a what the hell is my life kind of moment is karaoke. Nothing unites 30-something creators from all over the world like a 20-year-old Britney Spears song. I think I became BFFs with at least 10 people tonight, but I wish my hero Cookie Monster was here. I bet he does a mean Mr. Brightside. Today I went on a boat, a bus, and a really big building. That's the holy trinity of bees. I refuse to sail in international waters unless they have gacha on board, and ice cream pirates, and a giant rat. This is the Santa Maria Sightseeing Cruise, and you board it next to the Osaka Aquarium, which has an insanely good gift shop, including merch of a fish that looks like Hungyodon. For lunch, we went to a sumo show. This was a surprise booking, and not something that I would usually be interested in. But man, I gotta say, sumo wrestling rocks. rocks. The show was super funny and entertaining, and you can even buy merch of the winning wrestlers. Then we went all the way up to the 62nd floor of Haruka's observation deck. Now I've been to a few other observation decks in Japan and they were all mid as hell. I was starting to think observation decks were a scam, but Haruka's was awesome. They had Gundam up there for some reason, and a beautiful bright blue bear mascot called Abenbio. 10 out of 10 would observe again. We were taken to each of these destinations on an open roof Wonder Loop bus, which goes all over Osaka. You can book the bus, the boat, the aquarium, and the sumo show on Klook, and if you use the code Levins online Klook, you'll get a discount. But my day isn't over yet. I got off the bus in Namba and spent the afternoon shopping for games and toys and gacha, and basically just window shopped all the way to Dotonbori. We got dinner at an izakaya, and then we went to one of the best worst clubs I've ever been to in my life. Would I recommend this place? Probably not. But did I have a good time? It was definitely better than the only ramen place open at 4 AM, I'll tell you that much. It's finally time for the final day of my Japan trip from over 2 months ago. Yes, I know this isn't even my most recent trip to Japan, but I've been busy, okay? These videos take ages to make. I have one rule on the last day of any trip to Japan. Always book an overnight flight home so you get a bonus full extra day of holiday, and I spent this bonus day in Osaka. First I had brunch at an anime collaboration cafe for the excellent anime City the Animation. I ordered a rainbow bird jelly drink that has nothing to do with City, but I was mostly there to buy merch for my son. Then I went across the road to Parco Mall, and I think I may have finally OD'd on cute character merch. Because as you can see, this place is amazing, but I didn't buy a single thing. I finally acted my age for the first time this trip, and instead of buying rainbow monchichis, I bought rainbow incense. Clearly I needed a wake-up call, so I ordered a cold brew from this coffee place with a gacha machine. Then I got a coffee soft serve ice cream, followed by an iced sencha, and now I was finally caffeinated enough for one last hour of shopping in Osaka. These strawberries were the perfect pre-airport bus snack, and I didn't want to ruin my appetite because there's this amazing ramen place at Kansai Airport, and the airport is home to some pretty amazing toy stores, where I found some things that I couldn't find anywhere else in Japan. I spent the last of my yen on gacha, gummies, and these Hanamaru Obake egg stamps. Then it was finally time to fly home, and Jetstar do a direct overnight flight from Osaka to Sydney, which is how I get home pretty much every time I go to Japan. Kansai Airport is never as crowded as the Tokyo airports, and I almost always get a full row to myself. Here's everything I brought home from this Japan trip, but I've actually been back to Japan and returned home since this trip, so while this is the final Japan vlog for now, I still have roughly 4,000 more Japan videos coming up, so stay tuned.